Good morning. Welcome back, guys. It is Cap. You are hanging out with your favorite coach, and today we are discussing if RPE is right for you to help you build strength and muscle. Let's get into it. So before we get too far, let's discuss what is RPE. It stands for the rate of perceived exertion, and it's a scale from 1 to 10. So 1 being basically you're barely working or active recovery, and 10 being the absolute max you can go. You can't exert yourself any harder, do any more reps. So I personally love to use RPE, and I program RPE or a mix of percentages for a lot of my clients, depending on how they react to different training. Why am I covering this video today? So there's been a couple of my clients and fans who have kind of asked me to go more in depth in this question, and recently we've seen some very popular YouTube influencers comment on this, either going against RPE or for RPE. So I just want to give you my take on this. So I personally use both RPE and percentage based for my own training, and I've been most successful when using RPE based program. I broke a world record using RPE, and I became the Canadian national champ using an RPE-based program as well. And the reason I really like RPE and auto-regulation is because I just find it so much easier to go into the gym being like, today I'm going to hit, my sets of 5 at RPE of 8, and if I'm feeling really good, I can up the weight a little bit. If I'm feeling bad, I might decrease the weight a little bit. And that way I know I'm not overdoing it or going too easy. So it depends on the person. Some people aren't really good at auto-regulation, and that's when it'll be more beneficial to use a percentage-based program to help keep you on track. But then one of the things that can be lagging with a percentage base is, let's say you go into the gym saying, I'm doing, 5 sets of 5 at 80% of my 1 rep max. Unless you're just having a bad day where your strength isn't there, and so you go in, you just push yourself to hit all your reps at that weight, and because you're not feeling great on that day, you actually overshoot, and that can actually ruin your block in the future by overshooting. So that's one of the things I like about RPE and auto-regulation, is you can kind of cater it towards how you're feeling on that day. Another thing I also want to mention is usually when I talk RPE with my clients, I use the example of, let's say if you're doing an RPE of 7, you have 3 reps in the tank, RPE of 8, 2 reps in the tank, 9, 1 rep in the tank, and 10, obviously no more reps in the tank. And I also kind of have levels in my 10. So sometimes someone can hit an RPE of 10 where they can't do another rep in the tank, but they could actually do a bit more weight. So I make it very clear how I want my clients to do their reps volume and intensity catered towards the RPE scale. Now, the last thing I want to cover in this video is the notion that beginners shouldn't use the RPE scale. I believe it was Jeff Cavalier who talked about this, but I could be wrong, so don't quote me in case I'm wrong. But basically the notion is beginners haven't been training long enough to be able to recognize what the difference is in RPE, so they wouldn't know what an RPE of 5 versus what an RPE of 7 feels like. And I totally go against this. I think beginners can pick up the RPE scale. I think if they don't know how to use it, they can learn how to adjust using the RPE scale. I have trained a lot of beginners who've been very successful using RPE, so I don't think just because they're beginners an excuse to tell them not to use the RPE scale, because like everything you can learn and get used to it. But to fully go back to the reason I'm shooting this video behind who should use the RPE scale, it does come back to if you are someone who in general struggles with auto-regulation and you continually find it hard to pick the RPE scales, you find you're either overshooting too often or sandbagging your workouts, then you can benefit from a percentage-based program which gives you exactly the ranges you should be using. But on the other hand, if you're someone who's used to using a percentage-based system and you find that, some days when you're not feeling too hot, you find you're overshooting and it hurts your next workouts down the road, or there's just some days you're feeling great and you're feeling like these workouts are just getting way too easy, you're not getting anything out of it, then that's when you might want to go towards an RPE based system, or use a combination of both. So for some of my clients, I'll have RPE plus the percentage. That way they have the percentage they can work off based off their 1 rep max, but they can look at that RPE if something's feeling amazing or not feeling so great. So you can also use both. So I hope you learned something, got something out of this video. Thanks a lot for watching, guys. Before we completely sign off, make sure to check the link in the description for KF merch. I got lots of cool designs. As always, train hard, train smart, get KF Fit. We will catch you next time. Also, hit that subscribe button.